Oh, it's so delicious. This combination is phenomenal, and I can't believe I've never tried it before. I have been sleeping on this dish. In our last video, we started our journey into the food of Persona 5 Royal with a big plate of curry for breakfast. So full. Today, we're following up with a favourite dish of our protagonist's new friend, Ryuji Sakamoto. Gyudon, or beef bowl, is a big bowl of rice topped with a delicious mixture of sautéed onions and saucy beef, or a delicious substitute, garnished with green onions and a pickled ginger condiment called beni shoga. We'll cook the dish, get to know Ryuji a bit, and finally we'll sit down with our new friend and chow down. First, we gather our ingredients. We just need a small onion, 1 green onion, an optional nub of ginger, some dashi or broth, sugar, tamari, mirin, a little oil, and some sake if you want to use it. Oh, and the beef, of course. You can substitute soy curls or tofu skin for a mouth-watering plant-based alternative. Right, let's get started. I'm slicing the onion into thin rounds and cutting the green onion as thin as I can manage in a hurry. Some recipes use ginger, some don't. Obviously, I'm me, and I love ginger, so. And that's it for prep. Seriously, that's all there is to it. Now I've got my onion rounds in a pan, and I'm going to drizzle them with a little cooking oil and cook them over a medium heat. While we wait, let's learn a little bit more about the character behind the beef bowl, shall we? On our first day at Shujin Academy, we leave Leblanc with our bellies full of curry and head for the train station.
Shibuya. This is Shibuya.
By the time we figure out the right connection and make our way to Aoyama,
This is Aoyama Ichome.
It has begun to rain, and with no umbrella, we take shelter while we wait for the rain to pass. This is where we meet Ryuji Sakamoto. Sakamoto is angry about a pervy teacher named Kamoshida who leaves us to walk in the rain after offering a ride to another, much prettier student who doesn't seem particularly happy to be in Kamoshida's car. Sakamoto leads the way to Shujin, but when we arrive where the school should be...
What? Huh?
In its place stands a massive castle.
We didn't come the wrong way, though. Yeah, this should be right. What's going on here? I guess we'll just have to go and ask.
Inside, we are quickly taken
Hey,
captive and imprisoned by strange guards. Down in the depths of the castle's dungeon, we are confronted by the king, Suguru Kamoshida, the guy from the car. Now that is an outfit. Wow. None of this is making any sense, and we're definitely going to be late to school, but we have bigger problems. This king has sentenced us to death. Ryuji tells us to run, but we're not about to abandon him here. It really looks like we're done for. But then, we hear a voice.
What's the matter? Are you simply going to watch?
Somewhere deep inside, we know we cannot sit back and watch this happen.
Very well. I have heeded your resolve.
Steadfast in our own sense of justice, our rebellious spirit awakens.
Bow to me. I am thou art I. Thou who art willing to perform all sacrilegious acts for thine own justice. Call upon my name and release thy rage. Show the strength of thy will to ascertain all on thine own, though thou be chained to hell itself.
Now we're talking. With our newly awakened power of persona, we take out the guards, lock up the king, and start looking for our escape. Along the way, we run into a monster cat named Morgana.
I am not a cat. Say that again and I'll make you regret it.
Oops. Sorry about that, Morgana.
Come!
With his persona, Zorro, Morgana helps us fight our way out of the castle and back to the real world.
You have returned to the real world. Welcome back.
If you're totally lost and confused, don't worry. So is Ryuji Sakamoto.
What the hell's going on?
We're in big trouble for being so late to school, and rumors are already flying. We're advised to stay away from the troublemaker Sakamoto, but he's the only other person who knows about this castle, so we agree to meet up after school the next day. We need some answers. But first, let's check on those onions. They've been cooking for a few minutes over a medium heat, and they're looking perfect. Still just turning translucent, but beginning to brown and crisp around the edges. So let's add the beef. You can buy it thin sliced in some stores, or ask if your butcher will do it. I usually just buy a whole cut and slice it on myself, which is much more affordable. Pro tip, it's much easier to slice the meat nice and thin after it's been sitting in the freezer for a couple of hours. Not frozen solid, but much more firm. I'm letting it sear just a bit before I add about 50 to 100 milliliters of dashi, roughly a quarter a cup, depending on the size of your pan. We want just enough dashi to cover the whole surface of the pan, enough to cook the beef and the onions. I'm letting the dashi deglaze the pan a bit while moving the beef around to make sure it cooks evenly. And as the dashi comes to the boil, I'm adding the grated ginger. Then a teaspoon and a half of sugar, and a tablespoon each of tamari, mirin, and sake. You can leave the sake out if you're avoiding alcohol. With everything mixed in nicely, we'll let it all cook for a minute or two while we get back to the story. It's our second day at Shujin, and we still have so many questions about that cognitive reality castle thing. We meet up with Sakamoto after school and figure out that we can use this mysterious app that keeps appearing on our phone.
Kamoshida. Shujin Academy. Pervert. Castle. Beginning navigation.
To navigate to what the game calls the metaverse. In Persona 5, the metaverse is an alternate dimension in which people's distorted perceptions of reality take physical form. In this case, the cognitive shadow of Kamoshida, the pervy teacher who thinks of the school as his castle, literally rules as king and spends his day torturing slaves, which is how he views his students. The students in the castle aren't real people, only physical representations of how Kamoshida views those people in the real world. And the guards? They're corrupted shadows or something. We'll learn more about that later in the game, but if you're already familiar with Jungian psychology, then you're one step ahead here. Sakamoto wants to memorize the faces of Kamoshida's victims so we can confront them in the real world and put a stop to the abuse. But our exfiltration goes poorly, and we are once again confronted by King Kamoshida and his guards. This time, the guards are too powerful for our protagonist and Morgana to take on alone, and it looks like we're speeding quickly toward a painful demise. But before that happens, we need to get back to our beef bowl. The meat is cooked through, but we still have a fair amount of sauce left in the pan, so let's go ahead and scoop out the solids and let the sauce simmer a bit over a medium heat. We want to reduce the volume without letting it burn. There's not much liquid here, so it reduces pretty quickly, and we can add our beef and onions back in to get them nice and well coated with that delicious sauce. Now our gyudon is almost ready to eat, but our protagonist is still in a pickle. King Kamoshida once again has the upper hand, and he just can't resist the opportunity to taunt poor Sakamoto. In doing so, he reveals the root of Ryuji's resentment. Kamoshida intentionally destroyed the track team because it was a rival to his own volleyball team. And he stoked Sakamoto's temper so he could justify breaking the track star's leg in quote-unquote self-defense.
Not only can I not run anymore, the track team is gone too because of this asshole. Everything that was important to me was taken by him. I'll never get him back.
Stay there and watch. Look on as these hopeless scum die for nothing because they sided with trash like you.
With the truth laid bare and all of our lives in mortal peril,
No, that's what you are.
Ryuji's rebellious spirit finally awakens.
Stop looking down on me with that stupid smile on your face!
You made me wait quite a while. You seek power, correct? Then let us form a pact. Since your name has been disgraced already, why not hoist the flag and wreak havoc? The other you who exists within desires it thus. I am thou, thou art I. There is no turning back. The skull of rebellion is your flag henceforth!
What can you do? Cower in fear and watch! This was well.
Right on. What's up, Persona? This effing rocks! Now that I got this power, it's time for payback! Yo, I'm ready. Bring it!
Don't mock me, you brat!
Blast him away, Captain Kid!
Now that Sakamoto's in the fight, we defeat the guards with ease,
It just proves that Kamoshida ain't anything special.
and it's time to make our escape.
You have returned to the real world. Welcome back.
We're determined now to take down Kamoshida somehow, but all that fighting was hungry work.
Oh, right. I haven't eaten anything since lunch.
And we can't think clearly on an empty stomach. So we head to Shibuya to visit Ryuji's favorite after-school spot, the Beef Bowl Shop. It's a lovely bonding moment for these two new friends, and I don't know about you, but my stomach is growling. Let's get our gyudon assembled so we can eat. All we need is a sprinkle of green onion and plenty of the pickled ginger, beni shoga, and we've got ourselves a meal. Thanks for the recommendation, Ryuji. I can't wait to try it. So this is my first time eating this. I have never made it before, and I'm excited to try Ryuji's favorite food. Well, one of his favorite foods. So I expected to like this. I expected to think that it was quite tasty, and I didn't expect to like it quite this much. The beni shoga, I didn't have time to run and get some, but I do have a plethora of ginger lying around, and I happen to have ume vinegar to pickle it in, so I just did it myself. And wow, it's so delicious. The combination of the ginger and you can't replicate ume vinegar. It's not really vinegar, it's salty brine, but it tastes like vinegar because the ume is so sour. So I have ume vinegar made from fresh ume from last year lying around, and I'm really glad because this combination is phenomenal, and I can't believe I've never tried it before. I'm really glad I went with the ribeye the fattiness of the beef lends a richness to the dish, right? And then the ginger cuts through that, and they just really complement each other really well. I'm actually gonna need more ginger.
Come on, you gotta eat more. There's tons of ginger here.
The onions are really tasty. They like the little sugar in the sauce really complements the onions really well. And I'm getting the onions, the sweetness of the onions and the richness of the beef and the sour, bright notes of the ginger. Just they're all playing off of one another, and it's a party in my mouth right now. This is good eating. I have been sleeping on this dish. I usually find in very flavorful dishes that I really dig into the rice a lot. And it's donburi, right? It's a rice bowl. It's just rice is the base of it. But I'm not leaning very heavily on the rice. I'm going more for all the toppings and just a little rice on the side, which is interesting. I expected this to be more of a rice thief, but it's really well balanced is what I'm saying, I think. Yeah. Delish. I'm glad I used the ginger. I mean, you know, the ginger that I cooked. Not the ginger. I mean, obviously I like the ginger on top, but I haven't talked about the ginger notes in the sauce. Let's get some isolated without the cornucopia of ginger. Yeah, the cooked ginger is subtle. It's a lot more onion than ginger. I'm really enjoying the kind of halfway caramelized onions. Like you've still got that translucent crunch and you've got the sweet caramelization as well. Oh gosh, I'm getting really full. This is delicious. Yeah, something this tasty and hearty, and it's comforting, not in the way that the curry was. The curry was, like I said, it was like a hug for your tummy. This feels more energizing. And it might be just because of the time of the day. I was eating the curry in the morning and I'm eating this mid-afternoon. I'm gonna have to make myself a vat of this Benny Sugar. It is addictive. And it's not the stuff that you buy at the store. It doesn't taste like this. This is fantastic. That slightly raw, pickly ginger playing off of the less cooked onions that were still a little translucent. I've got this coating in my mouth, this oniony aftertaste in my mouth that's just lingering. And it makes me want more of the Benny Sugar, more of the ginger. It's very Moorish. It doesn't leave your mouth when you're done eating it. It's still there and it's saying, hey, I still exist, you can have more of me. Eat more. But I only have so much room in my tummy. I'm also really excited about how quickly this all came together. I knew it was going to be easier than the curry, but I still expected to be like really having a gun it to get it done and record the eating and everything before it was time to leave, but I did on time. Yeah, I still got like half an hour. This came together really fast. It is missing a vegetable. I mean, technically, I guess you could call onions a vegetable, but I would add some kind of vegetable to it to make it a full meal. I'll have to think on that. Maybe I'll do a beef bowl part 2. Just shoveling. I'm gonna make this again. And again and again and again. It's so easy. It's so fast. Perfect weekday, just gotta feed everyone fast kind of meal. This is absolutely going on my rotation. I'm stuffed, but I don't feel weighed down and lethargic, which is surprising. I expected, this big, hearty, beefy thing to make me feel like the curry did, want to go take a nap. But I feel energized. I feel like ready to go. I'm like, let's get back in that palace and kick some Kamoshida butt. I can see why Ryuji likes it as an athlete. I can see how he would want to eat something like this to keep going and keep training, and I would definitely want to give it an hour before doing any exercise. But wow, that was surprisingly terrific. I didn't really think about the fact that I've never made it before until I was eating it, and like, why have I never made this before? It's incredible. It's really good. I highly recommend it. And that means we did it! Week 1 complete. I've done both of them. I did the curry and I did the gyudon. And I would love for you to try the curry, but this one is very accessible. So let me know what you think, and I hope you give it a try, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how else I can help you with these recipes. Are there any issues you're running into? I genuinely don't know what next week has in store food-wise. I know what happens in the story, but I don't know what we're going to run into as far as food. I'm pretty sure there's going to be bread, and I'm dreading that. After what it took to get this week together, I'm not sure if I have it in me to bake my own bread. I might have to cheat and just focus on the filling and recruit somebody who knows bread better than me to provide the bread. I will try. I will do my best. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the live stream if you can make it. Looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. And we will be back on Monday with our next live stream of Persona 5 Royal. Bye!
See ya!